AI, AI, AI. Everyone is talking about it. In 2023, AI startups raised $42.5 billion of venture capital funding. But if you're like me, you're not entirely sure the right way to fit AI tech into your sales playbooks and strategy. Last week, the Ambition team took a bus tour across the Midwest and visited customers in 3 different cities. Live from our bus in Cincinnati, I sat down with Ben Hershorin, Senior Sales Enablement Manager at Paycor, where he shared his AI vision and strategy tips. Coming up next. Super excited to be here on site in the Ambition March Madness tour bus with Ben Hershorin, Senior Sales Enablement Manager at Paycor. Ben, introduce yourself, tell the audience a little bit about your experience in enablement and Paycor.
So my name is Ben. I'm going on it's my 3rd fiscal year coming into as enablement manager. I sold forever, managed a team for a while, and just kind of folded into here and have really enjoyed it. And so Paycor, we're small but mighty enablement team. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but there's a lot of big impact I think we do. And so I really enjoy it and want to kind of keep the engine humming and keep the team growing as much as I can with stuff.
Yeah, I'm really excited to dig into our topic today, AI, right? The most buzzwordy thing that we've heard over the last year and a half. And I think there's so much noise around AI, and there's not a lot of people that really dig into it beyond surface level. So you're being an enablement leader and someone that's passionate about this. I'm pumped to really learn from you today and hopefully teach our audience, who are salespeople, sales leaders, sales managers, a little bit more. So we're going to start off, not a hot take guy, but we are going to start off with a hot take. AI, is it good or bad for sales, and why?
Overall hot take. I'm going to say good. I'm a technology optimist guy, right? I think that technology usually makes things better. And even on the worst aspect, some sort of good will come out of it. For sales specifically, I think of, and this is going to be a little bit of a meandering answer, I think of sales enablement as constantly, what can we do as an organization to eliminate sellers' wasted time, right? From a functionality standpoint, think about that. Another way to think about it is translate strategy into action. So I think AI is great for sales because it allows people to automate those manual tasks and give more time back to sellers to focus on meaningful prospects, meaningful conversations, moving things forward, and less time on some of the manual work that goes into that later. So I think it's good. I'm sure there'll be some casualties that come out of it, but the nice thing about sales is someone has to sell this AI to people. So overall hot take, I'm going, it's good for sales. We'll see if I eat my words.
I love it. And man, I agree with you. I think like you explained a little bit about using it the right way to help the seller be better, eliminate some of those tasks. I think people that use it the right way are going to do that. It's like an augmentation. So I couldn't agree more. Generative AI last year, generative AI startups and companies raised $500 billion in 2023, right? An absolutely insane amount. Why should sales orgs be thinking about incorporating AI into their sales strategy? So let's dig in there.
That's a good question. I think, you put ChatGPT integration on anything and suddenly investor money flows in the past couple of years. I think that I think where it comes in is AI in its first iteration right now, again, can take some of the thought process out that takes a lot of time, right? So sellers are thinking about, we're giving them intensity, we're giving them plays, we're giving them things to go after. Sellers are still spending a lot of time, okay, how do I execute this play? What do I say? The customer's giving me a weird reaction. And so generative AI that can come up with words, come up with phrases, come up with best practices a little bit, I think is really nice to integrate in to, again, help sellers not only come up with effective phrasing, but also to practice a little bit. I think that one thing that, and we may end up getting to this a little bit here, but thinking about AI as role-playing and coaching and the abilities to alleviate time off leaders as well to help, again, coach and move sellers forward helps too. So I think generative AI, as long as you don't replace the sales rep, because there's always an X factor that humans going to bring, but to give ideas, to give frameworks, to give a way and a path for a seller to think about, and then use their own expertise within is really helpful for them. Not only that, but then outside of a sales perspective, customer service, which we all know in sales, that's part of it right there.
Yep.
Helps to give customers the info they need, alleviating entire organization with what I look at as revenue training activities versus revenue growth activities right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's that last part sticks out to me, like thinking about if I'm on Amazon, that chatbot comes up and 9 times out of 10, it's solving my problem right away as a customer.
Yeah.
And, that's a B2C buying environment, but like, why cannot some of those little things be fixed or made better by AI? Whereas instead of inundating a CSM with an email and going back and forth, like having AI chat for customers.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting you say that because I think too that the first generation of AI, generative AI coming out is mostly these large language models that have been trained on external data, kind of integrated in. But as it starts to get trained on your own internal data and understanding, okay, how do your best customer service people speak? How do your best SDRs talk to people? As you train it on that, that's going to make it even better. So that customer perspective may not even realize it's a bot at first. And okay, I don't know if that's good or bad, but it's a better experience for the customer to give them, again, get them closer to the result they're looking for versus a process.
Yeah. You also said something before that too, Ben, like AI and coaching, right? I think a lot about onboarding, right? And ramp time, being a new rep, especially if you're a hybrid company or a fully remote company. When you hop off that Zoom, your manager isn't there and you can't turn to the rep next to you for help. Like having I've seen a lot of like AI sales coaches or like AI role playing is a really cool thing. So I think like it'll definitely help in that environment. Not replacing human interaction, but actually providing.
Enhancing.
Yeah. I love that. Let's stay there, right? There's a lot of clickbait on AI replacing sales reps. I think it's probably the most common thing I see on LinkedIn as I'm scrolling, someone throwing a hot take that it's going to take our jobs. How does that phrase make you feel?
I think it's hilarious. But in all seriousness, I think there's nuance in sales. If one is in a sales role that is more so order take or commodity, I think that might be a little bit more risk, right? But if you are in a true problem-solving role, which I think that's really what the best sellers are doing, they're problem-solving. What is my customer's problem today? What is their goal they're trying to get to? Why can't they achieve it? Here is how my product or service can help them achieve that. That I don't think AI is going to replace. AI can enhance, can point to signals, can maybe encourage, coach, mold. It won't replace that yet. Eventually, maybe it will. Then maybe we'll all be dead. We're glad we'll get to that at that point. But I think that it's not going to replace a problem-solving salesperson. Again, what it's going to do is give more time back to that salesperson to be more creative, to solve that problem deeper, to truly understand what that customer, where is your point A? Where's your desired point B? And what is that path you're looking to do? Here's how my product or service can break that in. And so, it makes me think of like, when I first got into sales enablement, I started thinking, okay, so how do I even define sales? Right? And I think that's an important aspect of sales enablement. So I kind of define sales as earning a person or organization's trust to allow you to solve their problem through the product or service you're giving. And what AI does is it helps to coach the phrasing to earn that trust. It maybe helps coach on questions to identify that problem, but it doesn't replace the seller's ability to truly explain how to realize right there. So is it going to replace every salesperson? Absolutely not. Will it replace some? Probably. But again, techno-optimist, right? That people will find more creative, deeper pursuits to do outside of that.
Yeah. It's just wild, right? Where we're at today, knowing 2, 3, 5 years from now, what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
And I think a theme I'm hearing from you that I think I was a late adopter to this, but I've definitely come around. We have to embrace it. It's not going away. Yeah. It is only going to get crazier what AI can do and how it can help us. Like, if you're not embracing it, you're going to be left behind, in my opinion. I don't know how you feel about that.
I would agree. I often joke with some of my friends who are very into AI too, that the people who are saying AI is not going to matter is like the people who were writing the articles in 1992 about how the internet's just a fad. Well, that was fucking wrong. And so AI is going to be there. It's going to change things. Some are going to be good. Some are going to be bad. We're going to have to mold. We're going to have to adapt. But that is going to be a mass I think AI in general, even outside of sales, is probably the biggest change in our existence in a long time. And so it's happening. Best thing is probably to figure out how to utilize it and integrate it and direct it versus having it direct you, in my opinion. It's still early, man, right? This is the brick phone from Wall Street cell phone, and we're going to get an iPhone 15 soon. So
that's a great metaphor. Man, I think, earlier I said 500 billion, it was 50 billion. So we'll make a correction
still
there,
a lot of
but
cash.
there's literally thousands of AI companies now. And I think somebody that's new to embracing it and trying to learn about it, when you type the AI in, there are thousands of results. Do you have an AI tool that you love or support or want to plug right now that's been helping you out?
I don't. Yes, I think that a lot of companies are still trying to figure out the best way to implement AI either into their product or create a product from it. And back to the internet analogy, like look at our two companies, right? Ambition would not exist without the internet. Paycor and our cloud service would not exist in the way we do without that. So the map of what AI is going to enable companies to do, what companies will come about, I don't even think has been made yet. So I think it's still early. I'm seeing some really interesting things from Gong, for instance. I think they have a really powerful AI that actually helps. We at Paycor, we've integrated a lot of AI into our customer standpoint, our seller standpoint. We're still early on it. So some of the things are really intriguing. I think, to me at least, it still is open. How much is this going to actually move the needle versus, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think that remains to be seen, but I'm seeing some cool things out there, and more literally every month, which is fun.
Yeah. It's nuts. I think, as we kind of wrap up, what guidance do you have, right? There's so much, and someone like yourself that's an expert, it's probably easier for you than others to get it, or people that are late. So what guidance do you have if I'm a sales leader and I want to start thinking about AI in my strategy? What would you tell me to do?
It's a great question. Appreciate you saying I'm an expert. If I'm a sales leader, if sales leaders want to take the first step into it, I think it's not just looking at the coolest thing, but really looking at your organization, looking at your sales process and understanding what is holding up my sellers, my frontline leaders, and my leaders from executing on their main priority. If you can't define what that main priority is, your AI is just noise. Focus on that main priority, work backwards and understand, okay, what's taking us a lot of time, and then find an AI product that can solve that time issue for you, right? And that's what I mean, kind of back into the manual work, which is how can you eliminate those specific tasks? Okay, so you set up a play. We were talking about this earlier. You set a play, you work with everybody, you go, this is our strategy in our play. But that play requires some manual input by sellers to get the output. Well, okay, if we could get 100% input, would that increase the needle in the back end? Yes. Then what's an AI tool that can do that? And that's how I would start to think about it. Find one problem internally you're looking to solve that takes manual work that you don't want people to be focused on. Fix that for them and give them more time back in the day to focus again on the revenue driving activities, moving the needle, not just doing steps to get to the point.
Yeah, start with the problem in your org. Don't just Google and search AI and where you think it can be flashy and add efficiency. Think about how does it eliminate problems by adding efficiency. So I think that's an extremely smart way to look at taking your first step.
If you don't, then your CFO is just going to block anything with AI. Write too many checks on it right there. You could get overwhelmed with this. So I think start small. Space is still changing. Space is still growing and evolving. So don't jump in head first. Find someone in your organization who's interested in it. That interest will translate into proficiency, and that will help translate into, this is my problem. This AI can help solve it. But like everything, you got metrics behind it, right? Yeah, this was our idea. Are we actually moving towards that in a way to perform right there?
Man, Ben, I wish we had more time, and I wish we could just take you on the bus and add you to the tour. But it's been a pleasure hanging out, learning from you, and thanks again for hopping on.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, Ben.